Well, I know he poisoned Jamie Foxx, and Jamie Foxx reported him to the FBI because of it. I know that's a fact.
What really happened to Jamie Foxx? And what did he know about D'Angelo before everything fell apart? It's a question that's been quietly echoing across the internet for months, and every time someone tries to answer it, something new surfaces. Because if you think Jamie's mysterious health scare and D'Angelo's tragic downfall were just coincidences, you might want to listen closely. There's a trail of rumors, hidden connections, and whispered conversations that could point to something much bigger than anyone imagined. But before jumping to conclusions, let's start from the beginning, with Jamie Foxx's terrifying brush with death. Back in 2023, Jamie Foxx disappeared from the public eye after what the media called a medical complication. No one really knew what had happened. Not his fans, not even some of his close industry friends. Reports said it was a stroke, others whispered about a brain bleed. But the truth was wrapped in silence. Weeks went by before Jamie reappeared online, looking thin and shaken. He spoke directly to the camera, saying he didn't want anyone to see him like that. His tone was emotional, like someone who had seen something he couldn't unsee. He thanked his family and doctors, but he also made it clear that something about his experience had changed him forever. Then came the moment that set social media on fire. When Jamie hinted that things had gotten out of hand while he was quiet. People had been saying what I got, spreading wild stories. But what caught attention was what he didn't say. He never gave details, never named names, never explained what exactly brought him down. And that silence is what opened the door to every theory that followed.
I cannot even begin to tell you how far it took me and how it brought me back. I went through something that I thought I would never ever go through. And I know a lot of people were waiting, or wanting to hear updates, but to be honest with you, I just didn't want you to see me like that, man. I want you to see me laughing, having a good time, partying, cracking a joke, doing a movie, television show. I didn't want you to see me with tubes running out of me and trying to figure out if I was gonna make it through. And to be honest with you, my sister Deidre Dixon, my daughter Corinne Marie saved my life. So to them, to God, to a lot of great medical people, I'm able to leave you this video. I cannot tell you how great it feels to have your family kick in such a way. And y'all know they kept it airtight. They didn't let nothing out. They protected me. And that's what I hope that everyone could have in moments like these. Now, by being quiet, sometimes things, get out of hand. People saying what I got. Some people said I was blind, but as you can see, the eyes are working. The eyes are working just fine. They said I was paralyzed. I'm not paralyzed. But I did go through, I went to hell and back. And my road to recovery had some potholes as well. But I'm coming back, and I'm able to work. So I want to thank the people that let me work. And I just want to say that I love everybody, and I love all of the love that I got. And man, I know they talk about people crying on videos, you can do take two, but I'm not gonna do a take two. It is what it is. And if you see me out from now on and every once in a while I just burst into tears, is because it's been tough, man. I was sick, man, but now I got my legs under me, so you're gonna see me out. But like I said, I just want you to remember me for the jokes that I crack, the movies that I make. Some of them good, some of them ain't. I think I got a good one out. And the songs that I sing, man. And then, some people was talking about I'm cloned. Well, check this out.
Not long after Jamie recovered, internet forums and gossip pages exploded with speculation. What if his medical emergency wasn't natural? One theory, completely unverified but persistent, claimed he might have been poisoned. And that's where another name started showing up, Diddy. Now, let's be clear. There's no confirmed evidence linking Diddy to anything involving Jamie's illness, but the speculation grew because of several coincidences. Fox had spoken in past interviews about wild Hollywood parties he attended, some hosted by Diddy, and he'd even joked, or maybe hinted, about seeing things most people wouldn't believe. Then came a new layer. A former associate claiming online that Jamie had supposedly reported a poisoning attempt to authorities. Again, there's zero public documentation proving this, but the rumor was enough to ignite an entire wave of conspiracy videos and TikToks. People began connecting dots that may or may not exist, and that's when the name D'Angelo reappeared in the conversation.
Well, I know he poisoned Jamie Foxx, and Jamie Foxx reported him to the FBI because of it. I know that's a fact.
So, wait, you're saying that Diddy poisoned Jamie Foxx and that's how Jamie Foxx got sick?
Jamie Foxx reported this man to the FBI because of this. Facts.
Wow. Okay, and how did you hear about this? If you can tell me, or if you can't, that's all good. But you know what I'm saying? Like, well, you know, people are they're gonna want to know, you know what I'm saying, how this happened, or you know what I'm saying, what's the backstory to this?
But by the time this drop, this is going to be in the stratosphere. It's going to be in the ether by the time this drop. You could probably look it up right now. But by the time this interview drop, this is going to be out in the ether for sure. These people poison people, bro. I've been poisoned 3 times. Why am I testing positive for cyanide? You feel me? Why do I had pneumonia 3 times? So people like, man, why he breathe like that? Because I only got 1 lung. And then I had a car crash. I got 1 nostril permanently blocked. And I done had pneumonia 3 times. Somebody been trying to poison me. My brother got poisoned with me. The little lady I was bodyguarding, she got poisoned. Like, somebody is carrying on these antics. These is facts.
Is there any idea why Diddy would want to poison Jamie Foxx?
You get called to testify if you on camera and some of this footage and you want to make it a little bit easier for yourself. It's ways in this industry people go about doing things. Just know I tested positive for cyanide 3 times. After drinking some bottles in the club. Once you get hit with the cyanide, it turned into pneumonia. I had it 3 times.
Let's rewind a bit. Years before all this, Jamie had spoken openly about being invited to what he called wild Hollywood parties. In one clip, he described showing up to a Diddy event where people were, quote, doing all kinds of things I didn't expect to see. He even mentioned recording part of it, saying he acted as a cameraman just to be allowed in. That little detail became the spark for years of online speculation, that certain celebrities kept private recordings as leverage or insurance. And in the darker corners of the internet, people claimed that D'Angelo might have appeared in some of those alleged recordings. Again, there is no verified proof of that, only whispers. But the pattern these fans described was chilling. A circle of powerful figures, secret gatherings, and artists who suddenly fell off or faced strange misfortunes after getting too close. The idea sounds like a movie plot, but it's the kind of story that grips people because it feels just plausible enough to question. Before any of this, D'Angelo was one of the most gifted musicians of his time. When he dropped Brown Sugar in 1995, critics called him the future of soul. Then came Voodoo, and with it, the now legendary untitled How Does It Feel video that changed everything. That video turned D'Angelo from a soul prodigy into a symbol. But behind the scenes, it reportedly tore him apart. He later said the fame became suffocating. Fans treated him like an object, not an artist. He once told an interviewer he got angry when someone threw money at him during a show. "I'm not a stripper," he said. After that, his life spun into chaos. Weight gain, drinking, arrests, and a long disappearance from the spotlight. To fans, it looked like self-destruction. But some people believe it was something else, that he was being exploited and discarded once he no longer fit the image the industry wanted. That's the theory Jamie's supporters have latched onto, because they say both men, D'Angelo and Fox, saw too much too soon. What many fans didn't realize is that Jamie Foxx and D'Angelo were actually close. Back in their early days, they ran in the same circles: musicians, producers, comedians, all chasing the dream. Jamie admired D'Angelo deeply and often praised his musical genius in interviews. When news broke of D'Angelo's passing, Jamie's Instagram tribute was raw and heartfelt. He called D'Angelo anointed and said his music would be felt for generations. But readers noticed something deeper in his tone, like a man grieving more than a friend, maybe grieving a warning unheeded. According to speculation, Jamie and D'Angelo may have shared one final conversation shortly before things went downhill. A talk where they discussed how dangerous this industry really is. No one knows for sure if that's true. It could easily be internet fiction. But the timing, Jamie's illness, D'Angelo's decline, the resurfacing of old recordings, made people wonder if that last conversation held more truth than anyone realized. Here's where the theories start to spiral. Fans online began noticing what they see as a pattern. Brilliant artists who rise fast, speak out, then suddenly vanish, fall ill, or face public humiliation. Whitney Houston, Prince, Michael Jackson, and now some argue Jamie Foxx and D'Angelo. Commenters began saying things like, "They expose the game, and the game exposes them." Others go further, using the word sacrifice, not necessarily meaning a literal ritual, but a system where someone pays a price for stepping out of line. Again, these are theories. No one has proven any kind of organized targeting in the entertainment industry. But when you watch the same tragic story play out over and over, talented, outspoken artists losing control of their narrative, it's hard not to ask questions. When Jamie finally reappeared, alive and speaking to fans, he said one thing that many overlooked. He said he went to hell and back. To most people, it was just a figure of speech, a man describing his near-death experience. But to conspiracy theorists online, it sounded like something else. A coded message. They argue that Jamie's tone, his pauses, his choice of words, all hinted that he was scared to say too much. Some even claim he'd been warned to keep quiet. Of course, none of that can be confirmed. But it added another eerie layer to the mystery. Meanwhile, Diddy, the man at the center of many of these rumors, stayed mostly silent on the topic while dealing with his own growing controversies. The timing, again, kept people talking. One star recovering, another gone, and an entire industry pretending everything was normal. Here's the strangest part. For all the noise online, mainstream outlets have barely touched these stories. Most reports focus only on official statements: Jamie's medical recovery, D'Angelo's legacy, Diddy's lawsuits. Everything else gets dismissed as internet talk. But in 2025, with social media faster than traditional news, the gap between fact and rumor is thinner than ever. One tweet can start a theory. One old video can revive it. And when a celebrity chooses silence, like Jamie did for months, that silence becomes its own kind of headline. Maybe he's protecting his privacy. Maybe he's protecting himself. Either way, it leaves fans hungry for answers, and that hunger keeps the story alive. Let's come back to the supposed recordings, the alleged leverage that keeps showing up in these theories. For years, insiders have said that certain parties in Hollywood were filmed secretly, giving the hosts control over their guests. Cassie's lawsuit against Diddy even mentioned that he allegedly recorded private moments without consent, something that, if true, paints a dark picture of how power really works. So when fans say Jamie had receipts, they're not necessarily imagining a folder full of evidence. They mean he might have seen things, and seeing too much can be dangerous. That's the chilling undertone behind all this. Not just who did what, but who knows what. Because in industries built on image, the truth can be the most valuable and the most threatening currency of all. Let's be brutally honest. There's no proof D'Angelo was sacrificed. He struggled publicly for years, with addiction, with the pressure of fame, with the weight of expectations. But the people who loved him most insist he was turning things around. His album Black Messiah in 2014 won Grammys. He seemed grounded again. So his sudden decline and the mystery surrounding his death hit especially hard. In online forums, fans speculated that he was taken out for knowing too much or refusing to comply. Others say he was simply another soul crushed by an industry that profits off pain. Whichever you believe, one thing's clear. His story represents how quickly brilliance can become tragedy when power and exploitation mix. Since his recovery, Jamie Foxx has been cautious. He's back to performing, back to public appearances, but noticeably quieter when it comes to the deeper stuff. No interviews about the medical scare, no mention of the rumors. Yet, occasionally, in clips or acceptance speeches, he slips in lines that make fans wonder. Like when he said, "You never know who's really standing with you when things get dark, it's vague, harmless on the surface." But in this new era of celebrity decoding, every word feels loaded. And maybe that's the point. When you can't tell the truth, you speak in symbols. If there's a theme that ties all these threads together, it's this: fame isn't free. Behind every viral headline or platinum record, there's a system. One that rewards silence and punishes honesty. D'Angelo felt it when his art was reduced to a body. Jamie felt it when he realized how fragile loyalty can be in Hollywood. And fans feel it every time they see another star vanish under mysterious circumstances. Are all these theories true? Probably not. But that's not really the point. The point is that they exist because people have lost trust in the official story. When an entire industry looks too polished, too controlled, people start to believe there must be something darker behind the curtain. At the end of the day, we may never know what Jamie and D'Angelo really talked about in their last conversation. Maybe it was about music, about life, about survival, or maybe, as fans believe, it was a warning whispered between two artists who had seen the cost of telling the truth. Whatever the case, their stories remind us how thin the line is between success and silence in Hollywood. And maybe that's why Jamie still treads carefully. Because in an industry built on secrets, speaking too loud can change everything. So, what do you think? Drop your thoughts below, keep it respectful, and if you love a deep dive into celebrity drama, hit that like, tap subscribe, and don't forget to watch the next video. Because what comes after this might just change how you see the entire entertainment world.